All right, if you've been doing web dev for any length of time, the word Redux might, bring a little shiver down your spine. For years, it was famous for being powerful, sure, but also for being super complex and having mountains of boilerplate code. Well, today, we're going to completely blow that old reputation away. We're diving into Redux Toolkit, the modern, way simplified version of Redux that has totally changed the game.
So on the left, you see the past, what developers lovingly called boilerplate hell. I mean, you needed so many different files, actions, reducers, constants, just to handle one tiny piece of state. It worked, but man, what a slug. Now look over to the right. That's Redux Toolkit, or RTK. This is the official batteries-included toolkit straight from the Redux team, and it's designed specifically to get rid of all that pain and make state management simple and, honestly, kind of fun. So how does it pull this off? Well, Redux Toolkit basically takes a laser focus on the three biggest complaints developers always had about the original Redux. This isn't just a small update. It's a total rethink of the whole developer experience. And here they are, the three pillars of RTK. First, a way simpler store setup. Second, this kind of magical way to update your state that feels like you're breaking the rules, but in a good way. And third, a brilliant new method for organizing your code that will make your project so much cleaner. Let's break each one down. First up, Configure Store. You can just forget about the old days of manually combining your reducers, applying middleware, trying to hook up the Redux DevTools extension. Nope, this one function does all of that for you right out of the box. It is literally the easy button for getting your Redux store up and running in seconds.
Okay, this next part, this is where the real magic happens. So in classic Redux, you could never, ever change state directly, right? You had to make copies of everything using that spread syntax like .state. It was tedious and, honestly, a massive source of bugs. RTK uses this library called Immer under the hood, and it lets you write simple, direct-looking code while it deals with all that complex, safe, immutable logic for you. It is a true game changer.
And that brings us to the final big win, the slice. So instead of having a folder for your actions and another for your reducers, a slice just bundles all the logic for a single feature, like, say, a user profile or a shopping cart, into one file. You can think of your app's state like a pie. Each slice is just one self-contained piece of that pie, which makes your code incredibly organized and so much easier to navigate.
Okay, theory is one thing, but let's actually see this thing in action. We're going to build a fully functional counter app just to show you how fast and intuitive Redux Toolkit really is. And we're going to do this in what feels like 60 seconds, with just 3 simple steps.
Here's the plan. First, we'll create the slice for our counter feature. Second, we'll start up the main store and plug that slice into it. And finally, we'll hook it all up to a React component to actually see it on the screen. Let's do it.
So for step 1, we use this create slice function. And you can see we just hand it one single object with everything it needs, a name for our slice, the initial state for the counter, and then a reducers object with all the functions that can update our state. It's all right here, super clean, all in one place. Now, look closely at that increment function. You see that? State.value plus equals 1? This is that Immer magic we were just talking about. We're writing code that looks like we are directly changing the state. I mean, in the old Redux world, this would be a massive no-no. Here, it's the recommended way to do things. The whole point is it saves you so many headaches and makes your code just unbelievably simple to read. Step 2 is, well, it's almost laughably simple. We import configure store and the reducer from the slice we just made. Then we call the function and we pass in a reducer object where we connect our counter slice to the main store. That's it. Our store is now fully configured, DevTools and all, ready to go. And for our final step, we hook it into React. We use 2 special hooks here. First, useSelector lets us reach right into the Redux store and pull out the exact piece of data we need. In this case, the counter's value. Second, useDispatch gives us a function so we can send actions, like increment, to our store whenever a user clicks a button. It's just a really clean and efficient way to read and write to our global state. Now that you see how easy RTK is, a really important question comes up. Do you actually need it for every single project? And the answer is, no, probably not. It's a super powerful tool, but you gotta know when to pull it out of the toolbox versus using a simpler built-in solution like React Context. So what's the rule of thumb? Well, you should probably use React Context for simple state that doesn't update very often, like a dark mode, theme toggler, or user authentication status. It's perfect for that. But When you're building complex apps, think dashboards with tons of data, social media feeds where state is getting updated constantly from all over the place. That is when Redux Toolkit really shines. It's built for high performance and scalability in those exact scenarios. And that really brings us to our final thought. As your application grows, as it goes from a simple idea to a complex platform, the choices you make about state management become absolutely critical. So take a look at your current project and ask yourself, is my state management helping me move fast, or is it starting to get in the way? It's a huge question for any growing app.